Yo, check it out, I gotta speak the truth about the hardest working small channel in the crypto booth. He's the crypto father, the one and only, putting in the hours, never getting lonely. He's grinding day and night, making videos for the fans.
Welcome back to the Crypto Father channel. I am the Crypto Father. Today is the 5th of September. What's going on? What is going on out there in the world of cryptocurrencies in the market? Is it manipulation? Is it something else? Is it oversight? Is it pure stupidity? Or is it a complete lack of integrity in the media reporting? Things are going to get a little bit more analytical in this video. I don't usually get down to nitty-gritty details like I might today. I usually tend to talk about coins in the market and things like that. Well, I mean, the scams are also there. But today, what's happening with nvidia, or rather with the reporting on nvidia? It's a very odd animal. So either somebody's manipulating the market or trying to manipulate the market, or the blockchain and crypto world media is doing a crap job reporting. But it feels like it's the first. And if it is manipulation, then what is the purpose of it? I mean, I guess the purpose is pretty clear, because the outcome of the manipulation is also very much obvious. So let's have a quick look at what it is that's been going on. But first, let's look at the markets. Let's have a quick look at CoinGecko and look at where Bitcoin is. Bitcoin's right now at $58,000, a bit of a hiccup from yesterday's drop. Ethereum still below $2,400. Market cap is at $2.1 trillion, $95 billion in trading volume. BNB at $510, Solana at $133. Toncoin still below $5, Cardano at 32 cents. And if you notice, pretty much everything on the 1 hour is green, and we're slowly seeing a bit of a pickup on the 24 hours. Some coins or some tokens are rebouncing. The only coin that's really been doing very well is Litecoin. And I see a lot of tweets on X about Litecoin. And if you notice, Bitcoin is under fire, but Litecoin is pretty stable. Has been doing pretty well over the past week. 6.7% up, is right next to Uniswap, but Uniswap is an exchange, it's a service, while Litecoin is essentially the silver to our cryptocurrencies. It's the better part of Bitcoin, and while Bitcoin has been struggling, Litecoin is doing pretty well. It dropped from $90 all the way to $60. Where is Litecoin? Right here. To $60, and it remains at this level while everything else is fluctuating up and down. Bitcoin has been continuing its trajectory on the projected downward trend here. Bollinger Bands are pretty skimmy, they're pretty thin. The wick wicked below the support of $56,000, but it didn't close below there, so that's good. We've got another 3 hours almost for the candle to make its move, but it will close within this small channel between 56 and 59,000. That is clear. I don't think it's going to wick below that anymore. And on the smaller time frame, if you notice, there is a bit of a head and shoulder pattern forming here, with one shoulder, the head, and another shoulder here. And would this count as an invalidation or confirmation? It could be. We could see Bitcoin go down to the 53,000. If we see that, then that would definitely validate this move, and we could potentially see an even further downside on Bitcoin. The latest news out of the news media crackerjacker mill says nvidia says it didn't receive antitrust subpoena from DOJ. Yesterday, the news feeds were abuzz with announcements from or reports from Bloomberg saying that nvidia received a subpoena from DOJ in escalating antitrust probes, and as a result, the company's stock dropped by 9.5%. nvidia stock dropped 9.5% as chip stocks plunged. Here's what dragged them down today. This article came out a couple of days ago. I think this was on the 3rd, yes, September 3rd. Basically, Nvidia lost $278 billion in value, and whether that's been caused by the announcement that Nvidia had been subpoenaed by the DOJ or not is questionable, and it's very, very unclear right now because the reporting is just complete garbage. So Barron's reporting basically saying that the sell-off looked like it was part of a rotation rather than being driven by anything specific to the chip sector. September tends to be a rough month for the stock market, and investors appear to be in the mood to ditch equities ahead of a barrage of economic data. The idea of a massive company like Nvidia taking a tumble raises concerns to the standing of the overall standing of the market, and so investors will begin to withdraw money, and it just breeds fear because there are talk of recession, and people are uncertain of what's going to come. So, but today there is an article released by CNBC, the same news broadcaster or the same news feed that was yesterday, releasing a bunch of articles interviewing all kinds of personalities. Nvidia responds to the new DOJ subpoena. They even brought in experts, professors from universities in the departments of law, talking about why the DOJ is investigating. So all this stuff was reconfirming the fact that that Nvidia had been subpoenaed by the DOJ, and now all of a sudden CNBC have released an article saying that Nvidia says it didn't receive an antitrust subpoena from DOJ. This is literally a day later, after having bombarded the news feeds on Google and everywhere else potentially with articles saying that Nvidia had been subpoenaed, causing a massive sell-off and chaos. Quite possibly, all of a sudden, it's not true. Or was it that there was a sell-off triggered by what Barron's says was a part of a rotation rather than being driven by anything specific, and CNBC jumped on the bandwagon and decided to fuel that a little bit more just to give itself something to talk about. And now they've got two different feeds, contradicting feeds, which doesn't really bode well for them as a news reporting agency. But there you have it. Nvidia denied reports on Wednesday that it had received a subpoena from the Department of Justice over antitrust concerns. We have inquired with the US Department of Justice and have not been subpoenaed. Nonetheless, we are happy to answer any questions regulators may have about our business, a representative told CNBC. Bloomberg reported Tuesday that Nvidia had received a subpoena, causing the stock to slip in after hours trading. The chipmaker's shares had already given up nearly 10% during regular trading on Tuesday. While the report did not specify why regulators have been interested in Nvidia, its recent rise has been directly tied to its dominance in artificial intelligence chips for data centers, years before competitors AMD and Intel started taking the category seriously. Nvidia has more than 80% of the data center's AI chip market, according to industry estimates. Nvidia wins on merit as reflected in our benchmark results and value to customers. And customers can choose whatever solution is best for them, Nvidia told CNBC. So it's not only CNBC, but Bloomberg as well. Because Bloomberg Bloomberg is one of the biggest ones, news reporters, on financial issues, and they were talking about it as well. But there is no retraction saying otherwise for today. And so there are two possibilities. Either, as Barron's saying, the sell-off looked like it was part of a rotation rather than being driven by anything specific, but Investors Business Daily says Nvidia falls despite AI giant saying it didn't get DOJ subpoena in antitrust probe. And looking at the Nvidia chart, it definitely dropped a little bit. The green candle is on the way to recovery, but that doesn't change the fact that Nvidia has been losing some cash over the past couple of weeks, at least as it's reported. But despite all of that, when you look at the news feeds and crypto feeds, there's Red Panda Mining asking or releasing a video saying that Radiant RXD ASIC miner is releasing next week, and is asking whether people are going to buy it. it's just such a strange juxtaposition of all stuff that are coming out, all the news reports. On one hand, you've got nvidia losing money, and mixed reports, media reports, DOJ subpoenas one day, the next day it's never happened. Bitcoin is in a turmoil. Bitcoin is struggling to break above $60,000. There is a lot of uncertainty. The market seems to be dropping down. There's fear of Bitcoin reaching 40,000. And then on the other hand, people continue buying because that's the time when you want to buy. If you have the money, if you have deep pockets like BlackRock, Microsoft Strategy, or any other entity that has pockets that are so deep that, you know, it's like Alice's Wonderland rabbit hole that never ends, then it doesn't matter when you buy Bitcoin. The whole point is that the idea of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies hasn't changed. The underlying dynamics and factors that made Bitcoin what it is today, that gave people hope and gave it let the cryptocurrency ecosystem grow to the point where it is today, has not changed. And so the only thing that is changing right now is how the cryptocurrency market is being manipulated right now with the additional introduction of ETFs and the Wall Street money that has came in as a result of that. That's the only thing that's changing. So if you are in a position to buy more crypto, right now is probably a good time to buy it at a discount. Cryptos R Us says a lot of Bitcoin longs have been liquidated recently and the funding rates have dropped dramatically. Usually when the funding rates are this low, it means Bitcoin is ready to pump. And of course, this makes it sound like it's just a dead entity, but let's not forget that the reason why longs are liquidated is because there's a lot of sell pressure. People are selling. Somebody is selling somewhere. And usually when funding rates are low, that means that the fees that are being forked out by cryptocurrency exchanges in order to maintain assets that are being held are at its lowest. That's when Bitcoin begins to pump. So, but let's not forget that this is all done by humans. People are doing this. People are buying and people are selling. When people are selling, then people are buying, and vice versa. It's hard to make heads or tails out of all of this, but just keep this in mind. We've got the predicted blow of top coming up. That's supposed to be happening soon. Let me just delete some of this doodling. That's supposed to be happening within the next few months. We might see a massive increase in the prices over the month of October, September, October, definitely after the elections in November. I remember reading a tweet somewhere saying that Bitcoin has a tendency to pump right after the elections are completed in the USA. So we are presently in September, which may be seen as a month for accumulation, another time for accumulation. If Bitcoin does decide to drop further, expect there to be a lot of buy pressure coming in, which will drive Bitcoin up after the elections and into October and November before Christmas, when I think there will be another sell-off right before Christmas, as it usually happens, in order to, I don't know, people are getting ready to buy presents and stuff. So, but if Bitcoin does another flip to $84,000 or above $80,000 before November, then I would expect there to be another sell-off before Christmas, when investors take their money out, take the profits out. And so I'd be looking at taking some of the profits out around that time, which will be October and into November, right before the blow off top. And then we'd have a cold December, I would imagine, over Christmas, and then back to work in January and March. That's my take on the situation. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Smash up the like on this video, subscribe to the channel, of course, and I will see you in another video tomorrow on Friday. Peace.